the offseason. I ain't never been there. Going over there to South Asia was a 23-hour flight, well, travel. So I don't think I'll be there no time soon. But no, it was an awesome experience being able to be over there in the Maldives. And I think like where I stayed at, I was in like a fish tank. So I go to sleep and it'd be sharks like somewhere around. It was insane. It was insane. But yeah, I think that was the highlight for sure.
The leaks. Did you check for leaks?
Oh yeah, I was knocking, banging, make sure ain't nothing coming through here. I definitely did that.
Aren't they sinking like they're gonna be gone in like?
Yeah. But I think that's the main reason why I went. Okay. Just in case for like my twin brother who didn't go, my agent buddy who didn't go. I'm kind of making sure I'm rubbing in their face. Like if y'all don't go in the next 5 to 10 years, I'm gonna let you know I win. You didn't. So that's one of the main reasons why I did go for sure.
Shaq, what's your off-season routine as far as conditioning and get ready for the season? Does that change any at all?
Well, I kind of been in it early. My main thing was I didn't want to get out of shape. I wanted to try something a little different this year. So I kind of been moving around since like the season really ended. You know, I gave myself maybe a week and a half, and I slowly got back into it. My main thing this offseason was catching football. So I try to get maybe 75 to 100 catches a day. If I miss, then I'm catching on weekends. So whatever it takes, that's what I've really been doing. And then getting my speed back. I've been working with some track guys, you know, getting that explosion, that quick twitch, all that stuff back. So I think that's been my main focus. I need that ball in my hand. I need to go really fast.
Did the dropped interceptions bother you that much?
Huh?
Did the dropped interceptions bother you that much?
Most definitely. I definitely carry myself who can catch. So me not being able to grab one last year, definitely something that stuck with me. So my main thing is I need to catch everything that comes to me this year. For the ones, if I feel like if I catch the ones I'm supposed to catch, I think I'd be just fine. So
beyond that, critique your season. How well do you think you played, and what are you going to work on?
I feel like I was consistent coverage-wise, but like I said, creating turnovers, you know, making big-time plays and big-time games, that's what we need. I feel like that's why they brought me here. So I feel like that's the biggest thing. In red zone stops, I told them I want to continue to get better at third down, getting off the field. But in the red zone, it's a no-touchdown zone. No one gets in. So I think my biggest focus is just shutting people down completely throughout the whole field, first, second, third, and never giving up a touchdown in the red zone. So that's something I'm going to dial in now. Now that we're back, get a chance to really focus back on that. Red zone stuff will be big. But the main thing was just being consistent and creating turnovers. So,
what's your early read on the new regime and how different it feels around here?
Get a chance to see the new coaches for the first time and have everybody back. You know, it's been awesome. It's a different feel. I love that feeling and get a chance to be with coaches who have experience in the league. You know, the first day we met with coaches and people were saying, yeah, I was in the league 10 years, 11 years, 10 years, 12 years. That actually played. That's amazing to me, and that's a person who can understand anything that I might see or go through or maybe in the future that can help me out. So I feel like the atmosphere is different because it's so relatable.
Okay, so you're the perennial optimist. That's what you've been ever since you got here. Mm-hmm. But tell me what, other than the experience of this coaching staff, what from an organizational standpoint, from a culture standpoint, even though you have a very limited window to judge it, feels different to you?
We going off that last game from last season, off that winning game. I feel like a lot of people are ready to build off that. You know, we came in speaking about that, you know, as a locker room, something that we continue to build off of. But I feel like now everybody is really buying in. Let's talk about the players who was here. You know, usually all-season people leave. We had a lot of players who came back and sat here and really trained at the facility because they wanted to get a chance to get with the players because last year was our first year with each other, you know. And you talk about Chris Claybooks coming with me every day, coming here to train and try to get better when you don't have to. You know, there's no cameras, there's no coaches, there's no media, but we out here working and we don't care who watching. So I feel like that shows a lot about the atmosphere with this team. And I was telling him, man, you got to go get it all. You know, and you doing that is going to push everybody else to want to do better. So that's already started.
Shaq, what you're doing is more of a business-like approach.
For me?
For the whole team and the coaching staff.
Well, we know what type of pressure we're up against for this, this season. Understand we're trying to get back to where we feel like we should be. But I don't think we're thinking about just the business aspect. The main thing is trusting each other. Like, understand when we seen and went through a lot last year, so the main thing is, we're basing everything off trust, and you got to continue to get that. I got to trust you first before anything happens, and as players and coaches, we got to be able to trust each other first, so we're trying to build this loyalty, and I feel like that's the main focus. I don't think it's just the business side or what might happen later. Right now, we got to be able to trust each other, and that's what we're building.
When you were doing your training, catching balls, Was that from a judge machine? Was that from one of the quarterbacks throwing, or what were you doing?
Both. Sure, you can go throw a tennis ball right now. I'm gonna try to catch it, but it don't matter what it was. But jug machine, and, you know, I have my driver who actually stays with me. So sure, you ain't drive, you better throw this ball. Let's go to his backyard real quick. You throw it to me. I remember reading some what Fitzgerald was saying. He says nothing like watching the football come off someone's fingers when it comes to learning how to catch. So jug machine works. Like I said, my driver helped throw the ball. My chauffeur helped throw the ball. Shoot, my little 2-year-old, he running around. He throw the tennis ball. I'm gonna go dive for it. So anytime I get a chance to, I'm practicing.
Wait. Hold on. You have a driver?
Something like that.
And he lives with you?
Kind of, sort of.
Who is this mystery
So,
man?
okay, the mystery man is actually my right-hand man, my best friend, cousin, brother. He got every single label, every hat. Tito Bell is someone who has been with me since I was about 5, 6 years old. And after a while, you'll kind of know the story. It's going to be put out one day. One day, I don't want to get the whole story because it's pretty good. But long story short, it's the guy who I told him one day when I'm finally here, I want to be able to, you know what I'm saying, take care of me, you. You know, you did so much for me and my brother and his family. I want to make sure we're in a good place. And this person who got his every license, CDLs, whatever it is, and he just always been a certified driver. Even when we got our first restricts and license, he was the one always driving. And that was always his thing. So getting a chance to come back to Florida, he's from St. Petersburg, and, you know, and be able to make the money that I make, I was able to take care of him and be able to take pressure off myself. So he's my driver, my assistant, my counselor. It don't matter what it is, he's right there to help out. So it makes a lot of stuff easier. So it's easy to come here and have this type of energy because I have so many people at home helping take pressure off. So it's
You
amazing.
can guarantee you'll never get a DUI.
There are so many new faces that were brought in during free agency. What can you accomplish here in this, off-season time to be able to build some of that trust that you wanted to?
Just come in open arms. My thing is, I've always been a guy where I give you the trust until proven otherwise. Like my first time meet, I'm gonna give you everything I have. I'm gonna give you all of me, my trust, my loyalty, until proven otherwise, and that's what we're building. All these new faces, I let them know this is everything they're gonna get every single day. It's nothing's gonna change with me. I'm here to work, and I'm hoping you do the same thing, and you can trust me, and I'm hoping I can trust you. So that's the type of bond that we're trying to build. I'm talking to the receivers. I'm trying to get the receivers to start hanging out with us more. Now it's starting to be more offense defense. I remember last year I was talking about, let's get the defense, let's get the DBs, the D-line, the linebackers saying. But I think now it's kind of bigger than that. I need to be able to trust the receivers. The receivers need to be able to trust me. Shoot, Trevor want to go hang out. The running backs, O-line, I feel like it might be bigger than what I was thinking last year. And I only learned that from what I went through last year when it comes to that maturity. So, right now we're trying to build that loyalty. It's huge. That's huge for us.
How much new faces coming in? The team has the #1 overall draft pick. Might add a pass rusher to the defense. What would you think about adding a new #1 pick to your defense in front of you?
Man, that would be huge. Like I said, I think we just need someone scary. We need one more scary name because I feel like we got amazing pieces on defense, amazing. But one more person who can take pressure off either me, Josh Allen. We got Darius Williams now. We got so many great guys. If you can get one more person on that D-line to really scare people to take pressure off Josh Allen, who I feel like is going to have an amazing year, then we're going to be unstoppable.
How much did you know about Darius Williams before he came here, and what are your early impressions of him?
Well, I was in Seattle, and he was with LA, so I played him twice a year, and he always played great against us. It don't matter. He probably got a pick every time we played, or a pick 6 every time we played. So, I definitely know about Darius Williams, and it's cool. He's already making an impact here now. Even just speaking up, he's already playing that role to help lead this defensive back room. So it's awesome. It's someone who I can learn from. We can help each other get better. That's someone I'm going to continue to compete with. But I love his game.
It's early, but how comfortable would you be moving inside potentially?
Man, put me in whatever you want to put me at. I'm ready to play. And I think I just want to win. I just want to win really, really bad. So it don't matter what they put me at, snapper, holder, punter, assistant coach, strength coach. Put me anywhere. I'm ready to win.
What about Christian Kirk? That's another guy you've seen a few times in your career. What do you think about him now that he's on your team?
Yep, seen him twice a year. Gave up a touchdown or 2 against him as well. So, definitely a great athlete, person I'm looking forward to going against every single day now instead of just twice a year.
Paying back camp for those touchdowns?
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to be getting hands on. But nah, man, that's a guy who I know that's gonna, help craft me and then get better. Iron sharpen iron. I'm excited to have that guy here. I've been going against him for the last couple of years. Now to have him on the same team feels a lot better.
player's standpoint, what's it like having the number 1 pick? From a fan standpoint, there's excitement, but I mean, it also means that you guys weren't very good last year. It's the second year in a row. What does it mean to you?
What it means to me is we got to make the right decision. So whatever it is that's going, in that draft room, we got to make the best decision for this organization, And I feel like it's the fans look at it as number 1 pick or, this the worst team, whatever it is. Right now, I focus on getting what we need. There's no rush in that. I feel like we got a couple more days, but whatever it is, we got to make this. I feel like this offseason process has been amazing, so we got to finish it off right with this draft pick. So.
Shaq, you said those dropped interceptions bothered you. Honestly, do you know how many you dropped? Is that a number seared in your head or no?
Yeah, maybe like 4. They say catch the ones you're supposed to catch. I feel like I had legit 4. Okay. And imagine Shaquill Griffin with the season he had last year and 4 picks. It was a pretty good year. So my thing is I got to make up for it. So.
What was your reaction that the franchise was aggressive in free agency?
What was my reaction? Ooh, that's some money. That's a lot of money. I think that pretty much sums it up. But no, I feel like the pieces that we got, my main thing was making it work, and I feel like we got some real weapons on offense. I feel like we got some people where now we can move other pieces around. We can use people differently. We can open up the playbook a little bit more. And then you got a tight end that's freaking hauling. That's going to scare a lot of people. So, like I said, I feel like we got all the pieces that we need. Now we just got to finish this draft strong.
You see all the construction going on outside the practice fields.
Yeah, man, I don't got nowhere to park. Well, I don't drive, but shoot, he like to stay around sometimes, and he don't got nowhere to park. So,
how's that going to change training camp then, since y'all are going to be practicing up the road at Episcopal's night complex?
I ain't ripping. Just give me some grass. I just need some grass. That's it.
Does he go with you to buy a car?
Yeah. Shoot, he got to sit in the front seat, so I guess you might as well. So I actually just got this dually truck. First time buying a truck. Wasn't really a truck fan until I got this one. But I was like, it's so funny because I went to go see the truck at the lot, and he jumps in first. So dude looking like, yeah, I got to talk. This guy must be the one buying it. And I'm just looking back like, that's a nice automobile. And he in there just trying to get the feel for it. So the guy talking to him, and then he was like, no, you got to talk to him. I ain't buying this truck. So, yeah, I'm right here. So it's funny because he always going to jump in first because that's the guy driving. Like, I'll sit in the back seat. I'm all good. As long as there's space back there, I'm good. So he's the one that's really checking it out. He's underneath. Like, he's checking everything. And I'm just like, yeah, this is a nice-looking truck.
You did actually get in. You did actually test drive it.
Yeah, I test drive it. And then when I bought it, I drove it back. And then I gave him the keys, and I was done. So I'm going to drive it first. I'm going to drive it first. I drive it home, and I hand him the keys.
You still drive, right? It's not like
Yeah, I want to get fancy, take my girl on a date or something. I might jump in the 2-seater, So, sure, it ain't enough for me, her, and the driver, so he could take a day off. Every now and then, not too many.
What's the worst part about the offseason conditioning?
Getting back in shape. But I think I passed that part by staying in shape the whole time, so it's actually a really great feeling. I think I'll probably do that for the rest of my career, for sure.
Thanks, Shaq.
Appreciate y'all. All right.
Thanks, Shaq. Where you feel you're at, 80%, 85, whatever.
Progress on my list, Frank. I would say I'm about 85, 90% area. I'm not doing everything, but I'm doing majority of the stuff. I got back, I want to say, I felt maybe like 2-3 weeks ago, I felt like I could really get back to myself. Just being out there running full speed and just feeling fast, just running, man. It felt awesome just to be out there just running again. So I'd say I'm about 85 to 90%.
What's been the most difficult part of this rehab?
The most difficult part is just the time, just how long it takes to actually get back to yourself, and just knowing how far the season is away. So I would say the day-to-day, I had to fall in love with the mundane. So I would say just waking up every day knowing that where you want to be, where you want to be, you're not going to get there today, and just put in that work. So I would say just fall in love with the mundane.
Have Doug and Press talked to you about how they envision you in this offense moving forward?
No, sir. Nah, not really. Not yet. I kind of heard bits and pieces from my running back coach, but I'm sure they plan on getting the ball in my hands. I feel like I'm a special player with the ball in my hands, so they give me the ball. As long as we get the ball, we good.
Was it easier because you and James were both rehabbing?
Ma'am?
Was it easier because both you and James Robinson are rehabbing together?
I know. Well, see, James got hurt late in the season, so it was kind of lonely for most of the part. But sad to say, when Agnew got hurt, he kind of gave me company, so that made things a little easier. Just having somebody you can confide in. And when James went down, it was sad to see, but gave me another person I could confide in, and just kind of being ahead of him in my rehab and the things that I've been through. I can kind of walk him through the things and let him know that it's going to be brighter days. So we grew close together through this time.
Is it help having somebody push you when you're both rehabbing? Is that what it creates there?
Yes, sir, you can say it creates that. But I feel like if you're not pushing yourself, then what are you doing? Honestly, I feel like we're at this point in our lives to where if you don't want it for yourself, then another person can't make you want it anymore. So.
Were there some things that you learned while you weren't playing, in your rookie season that you maybe wouldn't have paid as much attention to if you did play?
Just the stuff away from the game, just being a pro. I feel like what I learned is that I don't feel like I really took the game serious. Well, I took it serious, but I don't feel like I really appreciated everything the game had to offer. And I feel like being away from it, you appreciate how great the game is, the opportunity to play in a National Football League. Just growing up as a kid, I could say going to school each and every day. My teachers always asked me what I wanted to be. And I would say like an engineer or something just because I didn't want them to talk down on my dreams. And so finally getting here and see that like it's possible for you to do that and play football, like for money, it's crazy. So
You would have said, I want to be a football player, but you thought that might not be.
Yeah, all right, so me deep down inside, I always knew I wanted to be a football player, but just where I grew up at, I couldn't walk around school being like, I just want to play football, because then it was like, oh, what's your plan B, all this, all that, so just kind of cut all that out and just kind of played into the.
Because you were a little bit removed from everything, did you have a different perspective as to what was going on here last year, like on the field and with Urban and all that other stuff?
Yes, sir, I definitely had a different perspective. I feel like I was looking at it from a fan standpoint. Just being here each and every day, I just felt like I was a fan who was in the room with the players, basically. So I definitely had a different perspective standpoint, and I got to see the ins and outs and seeing like what to do, what not to do, how to react in certain situations, when not to. So I just felt like I just kind of grew mentally all last year.
Was there also a part of you that was like, man, I'm glad I don't have to go through that?
Nah, definitely. That's just the human element of it. Just seeing the results, you definitely like, whew, if there was any year to miss, I missed a great one. So.
What's been your early impressions of this coaching staff? I know it's only been a couple years.
The coaching staff, I feel like, going off of Coach Peterson's resume, he's won 2 Super Bowls. He's been there, I think it was like 2017, so he knows what he's doing. So it's easy to get behind a guy who's been there, who has the blueprint. And he's just going to – it's just us trusting him and follow his blueprint, and I feel like things will work out. So I'm definitely excited to see what the future has for us.
Does it stand out to you? I think Shaq said something about like the coaches 10 years in the league, the experience level of the coaching staff. Does that stand out to you?
No, yes, sir, definitely. I feel like, he's been where I'm trying to get, So it's easy to follow someone who's been down that path before. Everyone wants a great leader, and I feel like that's what we have here now in Jacksonville.
What is Bernie Parmalee? What kind of coach is he? You surprised, not surprised he was brought back?
Nah, not at all. I feel like Coach Parm is a great coach, but an even better guy. And I feel like just that aspect of it, that's why he's here. I feel like he's kind of like a dad away from home. I said about my college coach, and I feel like that about Coach Parm. I feel like I was really blessed in my career to have 3 great running back coaches, and that's just a testament to who Parm is as a person.
In your head, do you kind of say, hey, I would love to do that Debo Samuel stuff, the way he does, he's moved around and used different ways? Is that in your mind, is that your ideal way that you'd be able to use this year?
Nah, yes, sir. I feel like if a coach wanted to use me as that guy, I feel like I definitely have the athleticism to do that. And I feel like, for me, just the biggest thing I want to do is to get out there week 1, tear it up, and just be myself again, honestly. So however coach want to use me, I'm willing to do it. I just want to help the team win games.
Travis, what's your timeline on when you think and what they're telling you when you'll be 100%?
So my timeline, I feel like I'm really close. It's just really getting cleared by the doctors. If it was up to me, I feel like I was 100% 3 weeks ago. But it's just going through that process, going through the day-to-day, and just keep just doing what they ask me to do.
Is there anything training-wise that they still don't want you to do?
No, sir. I'm pretty much doing everything. Just kind of been limited on the amount of weight that I could squat, but that's really it.
Can you still feel it? Can you still feel the list, Frank?
No, sir, not really. I feel like the only time I really feel is after like a long workout, just sitting down, maybe a little sore. But it's actually crazy because I was talking to my mom about this the other day. Like if I didn't know I had a screw in my foot, I couldn't tell. So I feel like that's a testament to like where I'm at in my transition and how I'm healing.
Is the screw there forever?
The screw is there. I think I would take it out. I could leave it there forever. I know most guys, he said leave it there if it never bothered him, but I just don't want to be 40 years old with a screw in my foot, really.
Hey, did you reach out to anybody who's had the Liz Frank injury to find out, what am I dealing with here? What's the long-term this, that, and the other?
No, sir. So I really haven't reached out. I just kind of I would say kind of like stalk those guys, just watch their highlights, see how they transition throughout their career and see how they came back from it. I watched a lot of Maurice Jones-Drew because he had the same thing. I looked up Taysom Hill a little bit. I talked with Evan Ingram the other day. He was telling me about his Liz Frank injury. So I haven't reached out personally to anyone, but I kind of just been kind of stalking their highlights, stuff like that.
What was the hardest part about the rehab? What was the most grueling part of the recovery?
It had to be the first 48 hours after surgery. I mean, I could vividly remember I was in a hotel, and I had my foot up on a pillow, and it fell down. Oh, my God. That had to be the worst pain ever because, like, the meds don't work. None of that works, and you just feel it. So I feel like that first 48 hours and then the flight back to Jacksonville, that was kind of the worst part. And just those first 6 weeks, I couldn't put any pressure on my foot. So thankful I had my mom there with me. But that'd probably be the worst part, just having to just sit there and just not be able to do anything.
Was it hard mentally?
It definitely was hard mentally. I kind of just realized, like, I didn't realize it then, but I kind of was in a depressed state, just not being able to do the things that I love to do. And just go outside. Like, it was my foot, so I couldn't, like, do anything. So it was just really weird. And I really didn't realize how much it took a toll on me. But having my mom there, she kind of helped me just stay in touch with, stay in tune with myself, not let me lose myself. And just when I was able to get back into the building with the guys, that really helped me a lot, just seeing them each and every day and just living through them.
Thanks, Travis.
Appreciate y'all.
What's up? How we doing?
Good.
Doing well.
In the off-season program?
Feel great. Body feels good. Had some time to kind of recover from last year, physically, mentally, just everything. So I feel really good. It's nice to be back in the building, see all the guys. It's been, 4 months now, 3 or 4 months. You start to miss everybody. So it's good to be back together, and the staff's been great. Really like the direction that we're going, and I think it's been really good.
No Masters this year, no?
Do what?
Did you go to the Masters?
No, we went to the Bahamas for like 2 days. Our anniversary was Sunday, so that was I would say the Bahamas was a little better. We went to the Masters last year. It was awesome, but no, it was great. So yeah, we missed it this year.
Was it nice to actually have an off season? Because last year obviously school's over, surgery, wedding, draft planning.
For sure, yeah. I didn't have much of one last year, so it was kind of like 2 years straight of just going college and adjusting. Obviously, like you said, rehabbing the shoulder, and then coming here and just trying to like figure everything out. Even in technically the OTA phase, when you're coming in as a rookie, you don't really know what's going on. So you're just trying to figure out the schedule, and you're here kind of all day, and it's kind of crazy. So now this year, just having that I guess, peace about, I know, like, kind of what we're doing. I know we're here. I know how the schedule's going to be, and haven't done it before. And especially now, like, learning, as we start learning this playbook, it's nice having that experience from last year. I already learned this whole other system and felt good about that, and being able to carry that over and just, I feel like I've learned it that much quicker than last year. It was like starting from scratch.
How much more assertive do you feel like you will be as a leader this year, now that you have a year under your belt, you have relationships established with people in the locker room, and do you feel like there's going to be instances where you're just going to have to take more control than you felt comfortable with last year?
Yeah, I think obviously you kind of get to skip that phase of, and there's a couple guys obviously that are new, and you get to know them, earn their respect, and build that relationship over this period of time. It's kind of why you do OTAs, and we're all together trying to learn everything and grow. So you earn that respect, but for the other guys that have been here, we all know each other. There's that level of comfort with each other, and just having that, you kind of skip the phase of, okay, I'm the new guy coming in, and just kind of got to do my job and see where we land at the end of this thing. So now I have a lot more confidence in that, and just the respect I've gained, who I've been the past year, being able to lead more definitely makes it easier.
What about the new guys?
Yeah.
Kurt, Zay, and the other guy. What do you do to try to fold them in as fast as possible here in this process?
Yeah, just, I mean, we started throwing a little bit all together. This is the first time we could use the facility. So off-season, obviously, most of those guys that are new didn't get here until right before we start OTAs. So they're trying to, find places, all that. So didn't get to work with them much this off-season. So now we got a lot of time. We have 2 weeks of just throwing on our own, and then we'll have that period and after those 2 weeks where we start getting out there with some coaches, some routes on air, all that stuff. So you got time to progress into it. I feel like we're in a good spot. Right now, it's, I think, more important just to get everybody speaking the same language when we're doing the installs, whatever it is, get everybody on the same page, so when we're out there, we're all saying the same things. Because if you're out there and no one really is on the same page and you call routes different things, it makes it more difficult. So we're getting there now. We're working towards it. Really like, from what when I've talked to them and been around them, I really like all the new guys that we have. I think they're all grinders, really hard workers, and we'll bring something this organization needs. The right attitude, just the right guys. I think that's just as important as getting a great player is guys that are going to do things the right way, and I think all of them are that way from what it seems.
What was your off season like? Where did you train, and sort of what did you work on?
Yeah, I was here. I was here for the off season. Obviously, traveled some. I trained in California for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. That was kind of like beginning of the off season, right when I got back into throwing. So I went to see some people out there, and kind of like a vacation and start getting back into training. And then since then, I've been working out here, Jacksonville, throwing at some of the high schools nearby, and really just working a lot of mechanic stuff when I was out in California, making some tweaks, and just wanted to feel better with my arm, not use as much arm, kind of get everything synced up, all that. And I think that helped a lot. So still just drilling those things, and then obviously just strength stuff in the weight room, continuing to work that, and flexibility, and just making sure, like last year, I was fortunate to be healthy, which is an accomplishment. Play 17 games, an adjustment from college, and get through the season healthy. Like I'm thankful for that, but just trying to make sure I can do that again and just be sustained and make sure my body's good, and I feel great. So I'm excited.
Who was your quarterback coach?
So I went and trained with 3D QB, Adam Dado, those guys in California, and then I have a personal trainer. It's more strength training, nutrition, all that stuff a little bit. Quarterback stuff, his name's Will. He's from Clemson, and I hired him, so now he's here. But yeah.
Trevor, how meaningful was the finale of the victory over the Colts for you as you went into the offseason?
It was great. I mean, I think I've talked about it a couple times, I'm sure, since then. But just after how long of a year it was, and the challenges that we had, and being able to finish like on a high note was big. I think just for just a way to close the year. Like, it's a good feeling when you can go out with a win. We only had 3, so one of them was the last game. That's a good feeling. And then 2, just for the guys that are back, that confidence moving forward of we've seen how we can play. And obviously there was a lot of distractions, a lot of things going on that made it difficult, but we've seen what it looks like when we put it together. And then having actually, some of the guys like Coach Taylor from the Colts, and just talking to him about that and all the things that we did well and things he's excited about, and all that is, it brings us some confidence too. And just trying to build on that. When you can finish a season strong, that's always a good thing. You don't want to finish not playing well, because then you sometimes can affect your confidence. But I think we're in a good spot, and guys know we can do it. We just got to put it all together, and I think we're off to a good start.
What do you like about Coach Taylor so far?
I really like his demeanor. He's really, really calm. I mean, similar, honestly, to Coach Bevel as far as demeanor. Really calm, never gets too high or too low. So I really like that. That's the type of guy I like to be around. And then as far as just offensively, bring some different things to the table. Obviously, we haven't been together for long. It only really started on Monday, so can't say too much right now. But really like the way he thinks about things and just how the offense is so complementary. And just how he schemes things up. I think he does a really good job of finding the weak points of defenses and exposing them, and I just think he's really smart. And being able to talk to him, I think we align pretty well, and we're on the same page.
How about Coach Peterson? Having a head coach that's a former quarterback, are you guys already speaking the same language, even though it's early in that?
For sure. Yeah, I think that's big when you know your coach has been there, he's been in your shoes, he's played quarterback, and then too, like having that success at this level as a head coach. You know, he's won a Super Bowl. You've seen his run with the Eagles, all those things. Being able to lean on that for him to help us is huge. Obviously, that's the goal is to win a Super Bowl, and that's going to remain the goal until we get there. So having someone that's done it and knows how to do it, that helps a lot and gives us a lot of confidence. And just so far, it's been great to see kind of how he runs things. Really laid back, expects a lot out of us. Obviously, I think that's important that you have those high expectations for your team. But I think he handles things the right way.
His staff is very similar boat. They got a lot of guys who have 10 years, 12 years in the league. I think maybe they even introduced themselves as telling how long they've been in the league to the team. But how different is that versus maybe, or how important is that? And then how different is it from last year? We had a lot of college guys who had never even played in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important. I think it's still the same game, but it's very different at the NFL level compared to college, and just some things you got to learn through experience. Even from like as a player, things that I learned last year that you just got to go through them and you got to learn them firsthand, and then you can really grow and learn from those mistakes or things you do well, whatever it is. So I think having that experience is big, and just also like the off season, how to structure it a certain way. That's something that coming from college, it's really hard to know what to expect. You know, it's so much different than college. You know, you have your lifting in the winter, and then you go into spring ball, and then summer workouts, and everyone's always there. So you just have the whole year pretty much. There's really no time off. And here you got to manage your time because everyone's off for a few months, and you got to get everybody acclimated again, and just putting it together in a way where you get the most out of it, but you also don't strain your players too much. And you can just tell that Coach Peterson and his staff know how to do that, and it's been really good, and I think it's going to help our team a lot.
Does this feel like starting over, but in a positive way?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say starting over, just in some ways, yeah. I wouldn't say everyone, but most of the coaches are new. We still have a couple that carried over. But I would say just from a energy and morale boost, it does feel like starting over in a good way. You know, there's a lot of positivity in the locker room, in the building, a lot of energy, which has been great. But I'll say I think it's important too to just kind of learn from last year and always not necessarily think about that all the time. You don't want to think about the bad things, but you want to use what you learned and not make the same mistakes, especially as individuals, as players, like things that went right, went wrong. We all have things we can get better at. And for me, I learned so much, so I wouldn't say it's like starting over because I'm thankful for those things I learned. I don't want to start over, you know, I want to keep those in my back pocket. So stuff like that, I think it's a good way to look at it, and I think guys are doing that.
You were the number one pick last year. Team has the number one pick again this year. You just mentioned learning some things. Any advice for whoever the Jaguars use that first pick on?
Yeah, well, I'm sure whoever it is, once he gets here, I can help him a little bit. Obviously, had a lot of. I don't know if you can come up with more challenges besides getting injured your rookie year than we had. So I'm sure I could give a little bit of advice. I think just coming in and some of the stuff, like I said when I got here last year, is just coming in and earning the respect of your teammates. That's stuff you can do that it doesn't take any talent, doesn't take any skill, whatever. You just come in and do things the right way and treat people right. I think that's going to be big. And then really just buy into what we're trying to make the culture here. And I think Coach Peterson has a clear vision of that. The whole staff does. And then now it's getting all the players on board, and we're going to do that. Last year we bought in too, so it's like having the right guys in place and all of us buying in, that's what it takes. And I'm confident we're going to do that. So whoever it is, it's really all you got to do. Your play on the field is going to speak for itself, and obviously you got to perform. It's about performance, Same thing for me. I got to play better this year. I didn't play great last year. So that'll, the work will show, and that'll, you'll take care of that on the field, but just how you carry yourself and treat people.
How long did it take you to kind of purge everything that happened last year once the season ended? Not necessarily like the on-field stuff, but like all the other stuff.
Yeah. How long? I don't know. A little bit. I mean, I don't think I didn't really dwell on it. I'd say until I was like pumped up to go and like attack this thing again. A few weeks, I took 3 weeks completely off. Just didn't study film, didn't lift weights, didn't run, didn't do anything. And then after that, I slowly started getting back into it. And you just get so used to your routine and you start to miss that. And the biggest thing towards the end of the time off, like now we're still in the off season, but we're all back in the building. You start to miss just being around the guys and having those relationships. And it's like different than NFL. Like in college, you're all still together. NFL, everybody moves and everybody's in different cities. You have a few people here, but you miss just being around the guys and being able to like work on something together. That's something you miss. So I'd say it took me a few weeks, and then not too long. I don't really like to dwell on the past. Obviously, I like to learn from it, and I think I'm a big believer everything happens for a reason, and you just got to figure out what that is and build on it and look at it in a positive.
How much, if anything, do you pay attention to the draft? I mean, do you actually YouTube highlight a prospect and things like that, or is this something you just completely ignore and said, hey, I'll just trust what the front office picks and do it that way?
I kind of know. I know like where we're picking. I know those things, like who the top guys are, and I think because I was just last year, or I guess 2 years ago, in that world, I know a lot of the guys already, and some of the guys were my class coming out of high school, so I've seen them play. So that makes it easier because I already know who they are. Not everybody, but a lot of them. So I don't have to do too much research. I say I keep track of it, but at the end of the day, I'm not making any draft picks. I'm not really making any decisions, so I don't really think about it too much. I trust our front office. But I think we did a great job in free agency, and I think we're going to continue to do that moving forward.
Privately, do you have some sort of favorite? You may not want to say who it is, but I'm just wondering either position or name or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, not really. Obviously, you kind of have your thoughts on which direction it may go, but this is an interesting year. Obviously, it's usually a quarterback that's probably going to be the first pick. A team needs a quarterback, whatever. And this year is it's a different year. So I'll be interested. I'm just as interested as all you guys and everybody else watching who we're going to pick. So it's exciting. Obviously, we got I think 11 or 12 picks. Just more guys to add to our team, make us better. Obviously, we did a good job in free agency. Got a lot more weapons, a bunch of guys on the defensive side of the ball. So just have some more ammo for us. It'll be good.
What would it be like to play for a Clemson guy?
Do what?
Put in a good word for a Clemson guy?
All Clemson guys, well, the ones that I know are mostly good people, and I know the mindset coming from that program. So I definitely have some favoritism for sure for those guys. Who knows what it'll end up being? Like I said, we got a lot of picks, but it's definitely you root for those guys. Hope they go as high as possible.
What would it be like to play with Justin Ross again?
Yeah, we had a great connection in college. Obviously, our junior year, my last year, he wasn't able to play, and we missed him, like having that threat on the outside and just that playmaking ability. He's special, and the way he can cut and all those things that he can do. Now it's been 2 years since I played with him, so it's kind of hard to say. I don't know what the development is. Obviously, I know he's a great player and all of that. So I'd love to play with him if that ends up working out. Who knows what that'll be, but I think he's going to do great wherever he ends up. But obviously, it'd be nice to have a familiar face and pick back up where we left off.
What do you expect out of Travis Etienne this year?
Yeah, I'm really excited to have him back. Just obviously, I know how talented he is, but also knowing that last year wasn't the easiest thing, but having to sit out. You get drafted in the first round, and you're ready to, obviously me and him, go somewhere together. You're ready to make an impact and play, and then you get hurt in the preseason game. That's tough. And missing the whole year, I know he missed being out there. So I'm just excited to have him back in the locker room, really a part of practice, preparing, all those things. And I know he's ready to do that too. So I just know he's going to add a spark for us. And obviously, like that combination of him and James is going to be really great. James is great between the tackles, great vision, just a great player. And then Travis adds that a little bit more explosion, that big playability, and his speed is special. So I think that's going to help us a lot, make us a little more versatile, and just having those guys will be a really good 1-2 punch. So I'm excited.
Not to dwell on last year too much, but you used words distraction and challenges. What's the real word to describe what you guys went through last year? or at least maybe the word you, or is that as far as you can go publicly, is challenges?
I mean, I think that's kind of just what it is. Like it's just kind of, I don't really have a singular word for it. I mean, that's distractions, a lot of it, and it's tough, stuff you can't control all the time, and you can only control how you respond, what your next move is, all those things. And yeah, I would say just learning that and kind of what this team went through last year, it's going to help us, I know for sure. Now more in a more stable environment with things all move in the same direction, it's only going to help us. All the stuff we learned last year, this year, I mean, it's not likely that we're going to go 17-0. Like, I don't know if anyone's done that. So, you're going to lose a couple games. So having that experience, like, I mean, last year we went on 2 5-6 game losing streaks, so that was tough. And having that, so now we get in a little rut, we lose a game, we might even lose 2 games in a row. You know how to kind of get out of it. You know what's in you, and you know the people that are around you, and you've kind of been through it all with. So I think that'll help us.
What do you think? Go ahead.
Oh, thanks. How much input do you want in the playbook each week as far as the game plan?
I think it's always a collaboration. Obviously, it starts with the coaches. They have all the time to put the plan together, and then it's just communication. Like last year, I thought we had a pretty good line of communication as far as if I had certain thoughts or whatever it was. We did a good job of communicating and making some tweaks when we needed to. Obviously, want to do more of that this year just because I know more. I know what I like. I know things I don't like. Things I see on film, it's easier for me to pinpoint than it was last year just because I've learned a lot. So I would say really it always starts with the coaches, but just having that freedom and just that relationship to where I can, see something and tell them, hey, I don't really love this, or I really like this. Can we add this on the backside, or whatever it is? Just having that relationship is key, and we're obviously building towards that right now. And we got 5 or 6 months till we play, whatever that is. So we got a lot of time. So we have time to still continue to work on that. And I'm just excited to get there, and I think we'll definitely do that.
With your skill set, how much can Ingram really benefit you guys offensively with the speed he brings to that position and your connection with Dan Arnold? Right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously we saw kind of what Dan brought to us last year. We needed some more explosives, and a mismatch at that tight end position is huge. And Dan did a great job, obviously, before he got hurt. And then, so having both of them this year, having that much speed at tight end is really a threat to the defense. You got linebackers trying to cover them, safeties, whoever it is, and that'll help us a lot. And then, obviously, we got Chris and Luke, who are both great players. Chris is just like a freaking house on the edge. Like he's like it's like having an extra offensive lineman when he's in pass protection, and then he has the ability to also, make any catch and help you downfield too. So having all those guys, I think we got a really good room, and everyone's a little bit different, but that's good. You can game plan a certain way, and it makes it tougher on a defense for sure.
Familiar enough with the offense yet to feel for how you're going to fit your skill set, how it fits you?
I wouldn't say yet. I kind of could answer that directly, so I won't really try. I really like kind of what we've covered and the thought process behind everything, and I think the way everything flows together is really good, and we're only at the basics right now because we have so much time. But yeah, so far I really like it.
Thanks, Trevor.
Awesome. Thank you all.